last we come to
The
Dark,
real anime of the season.
the real anime of the season. Ah,
Sure, man.
you know what's
Got an
really like almost
8.0.
makes me angry? Yeah, I remember the title of this series now because of all of the fucking like everybody on TikTok and whatever dancing to
I
this
mean, it just rolls.
fucking
It just rolls
opening.
off of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so. I'm covering
Yeah, Spire. I think you should do the
Shikanoko.
1 minute. You should do the 1 minute, 1 hour endurance run just to make sure you
Yeah,
learn.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm
But yeah,
covering Shikanoko Nokonoko Koshitantan.
Koshitantan. Yes.
Yeah.
My dear friend Nokotan is
Um.
a localized title.
Yeah, I guess just to give the rundown, this is being done by Wit Studio. This is a
Yeah, this is the
manga
other one.
source.
Yeah.
Um, this is let me see. This is being directed by the like we had covered prior. The director of the first two seasons of Yuri. Just a
Mm.
really long time director as well. Um,
So like the staff
and
is
like an
solid, I
episode
think, for the most
director of
part.
Wata 10. Yeah,
Hmm.
like he's done quite a lot. Uh, is
Hmm.
Masahiko Ota. Um, yeah, I don't really know where to start with this series. Well, yeah, so this is
That you hate it.
this series starts off well, yes. We'll get to that. This series starts off with our main character, Toraka Koshi, the blonde girl. She is a essentially a reformed delinquent. She was a delinquent in her prior school, and now that she is trying to like rebrand herself, or well, rebranded herself as like an honor student, like a perfect student in her newer school. Um, now, this pretty much starts off with her immediately meeting Nokotan, um, and Noko pretty much sees right through that because like her antlers glow or something when someone's like lying. Um, yeah, I guess to get into this, there's really not a lot of substance there.
Yeah, I mean it's
I
a
I'll get
slapstick
into this.
comedy
Yeah,
series, right?
it's a
So
slapstick comedy series, but I hate it. I hate the series. I think the
he
series fucking
hates it.
sucks. Like, yeah, I do, like a lot.
Kuyashi.
Um, I guess to get right into it, like just why I dislike the series, is well because and by the way, like the reason why that is because there like again, there's nothing of substance to talk about other than like the jokes, and I'm not gonna sit here and like rehash fucking the 40 minutes of jokes I saw. um,
All the dear jokes.
yeah, so I guess I should say. Oh, actually, you know what? We'll do this first. The audio visuals I think are also bad. I think these audio visuals
Oh,
are
okay.
honestly like surprisingly bad from Wit Studio. Um,
Yeah.
the visuals themselves are not like the worst animation you will ever see. They're not the worst you will ever see.
It's budget.
Um,
It's budget.
but what's not, I mean, I think it's like the problem is that not only is it like it's like semi budget, but it's also like the shading is shit. Like you can tell from it. Like
Hmm.
there's like I don't like the colors. I don't think they're particularly great. Everything looks very flat, and I don't think it's a particularly good style either. Right? Like I think it's a
I
very
think a lot
basic,
of the A
bland
team, in
style.
terms of like animation directors, stuff like that, probably went to the Sky Squad, Suicide Squad people
Yeah, I mean,
team.
also it's
Not gonna
like
lie.
the other issue too is I would say that I don't think particularly this series is lending itself to be adapted in such a
Source
way that
material,
is like
right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not like obviously it's like the style is adapted, like they adapted it. It's like this is the style,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's not a
There's a
visually it's
ceiling.
not visually distinct. Like it's an extremely visually indistinct series. Um, so that's working against it as well as like a slapstick comedy series for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
And then beyond that, the audio I think is ass because I think it's mixed like dog shit. Like I really don't know how else to put it. Like the mixing in this series is fucking terrible. Character voices are extremely fucking loud. The background is
Huh.
extremely fucking quiet. There is almost no background noise whatsoever half the fucking time. The recordings of the voices do not sound good either. Like I don't know how no one else has picked up on this that I've seen talking about this. These voice like they're too sharp, like they're way too crisp, the audio. Like it's like grating at times.
Mhm.
Um and it's especially noticeable when there's like literally no music. And there are a lot of times in this show where there is no music, no background audio, nothing.
What the fuck?
Um yeah, so it's just dead. Like like I don't think it's good. Like I think that's fucking horrible. Um especially for a slapstick comedy series. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like your music is supposed to be like a through line for this. Like but here's where we get to what I would argue is the worst aspect of the show, which is the comedy. The comedy is genuinely the worst aspect of it. There are some bits that are okay. There are a lot of bits that are fine, right? Um,
Hmm.
but then there's a lot that I'm just like kind of rolling my eyes at, like we're doing this for an extended period of
Bro,
time.
but
Like
but
at one point, like Nokotan gets jacked and looks like a fucking Fist of the North Star or a JoJo character,
yeah,
and that goes on for like a minute, if not longer. And I'm like, why is this going on for so long? Like, and it really has no bearing on anything. It's not really like a fourth wall breaking like moment, particularly like to me, it just like really doesn't land, and that's like a lot of the humor in this. You know, it goes on for
bro.
very
Forbes,
long.
Forbes review for this anime tells me my dear friend Nokotan is wondrously silly and very funny. Much like Nichijou before it, my dear friend Nokotan is
Yo,
annoyingly
Nichijou,
anyone who
hell
bizarre
yeah.
compares this
and
to Nichijou
simultaneously.
should host a fucking event in Pennsylvania. Is what they should do. They should host a
Oh my
rally in
god.
Pennsylvania. Is what they should be
Yeah.
doing.
But it's
Um,
the thing is it's very
it's insane because it's like again, like comparing it to Nichijou, it's like okay, Nichijou had was visually distinct, had like insanely
Yeah.
good like an insanely good soundtrack and audio, had
yeah,
jokes that
yeah.
doubled back on themselves. That's the other thing that I
Yeah.
didn't experience in the first two episodes of this series. I did not experience a joke like truly doubling back on itself properly, or at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Realistically, they just go
And
on
also
for
like
like
it's compact.
sections of
It's
the
just like,
show.
oh, this is a slapstick, boom, 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 and like Meech just kind of moves on after that. But it's like, or like it does a skit, just packs it up, and then moves on to the next skit. But I don't like
I don't think that
Nokotan
would
kind of
necessarily
just
be a
seems like
bad
an
thing if it was very
endless like
fast.
roll. Yeah, it's like Nokotan is like an endless roll of like the same joke being retold like 50 different ways. And it's like
Yeah,
Truly the
and
peak
it,
of
uh
Japanese comedy.
I mean,
yeah.
it'd basically be like if all of Nichijou was just that, was like, or 90% of Nichijou was just the like first single joke with what's her name, the robot. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. Her like losing like
y-
various body parts to the
yeah,
professor or like
like
having
if like,
pop parts pop
or
out.
just having thing,
Yeah,
yeah, like if it was just that done ad absurdum, but the main problem I have with that, because that does happen a lot in Nichijou, and I think the smart thing to do is to react to these things happening as they're happening and don't fucking tell me that they're happening. Stop telling
yeah.
me
Just run the
when the
slapstick.
jokes
Just
are
run the
happening.
slapstick.
Just let it
Yeah.
happen. Because this show really loves to fucking linger on a joke and then tell you, wow, isn't it crazy that this is happening? This is kind of like this thing. This is kind of like this other thing. I
Hmm.
I get it. I have seen that. For example, even if you want to do that again, then it here's on jokes too long. One of the opening jokes is the main character finding passing by Nokotan hanging from a power line. Like her antlers are like holding her onto a power line.
Yeah, yeah.
Um And she stops and looks at Nokotan. And then she runs through, like, a couple other things happen, but it's really whatever. She runs through a couple of things like the opening joke, which I thought was fine. I thought could be cute, but they didn't let it roll. She opens with, um, oh my god, like, is this a suicide? And then that goes on for too long, and then she goes to, wait, she has antlers. Which again, the script is way too wordy where she's like describing like she is stuck up there because she has antlers. Oh my god. It's like I know, actually. In fact, I saw that before you apparently did. And then she runs through, what was it? It was something about she's in my my school uniform, like, so it's a girl, and then she realizes like, wait, but only male deers have antlers, right? Like, and that is realistically when the joke should have ended, and like Nokotan should have interacted with her. Except
Yeah.
instead, what we got was like another minute or two of this character going through scenarios of like, maybe she's a cryptid, maybe she's this, maybe she's that, maybe she's a villain, like a villain leader or something, and they did like a shocker mooks shot or something in her mental, like her mental image of it. But it's like, that's like it's too long. Like, who cares? Like, your entire joke here has been that Nokotan is hanging from a fucking power line, and the only other thing you've done here has had one character fucking monologue about it for like 3 minutes. Like, like,
Can
to
we move
me, like,
on?
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, it's like, okay, move the fuck on. Like, what are you doing? Like, not
Yeah,
only
it's
that, it's
just
like, I like, personally, it's like, I don't get how that's funny anymore. Like, maybe this was funny
well,
fucking 10 to 20 years ago of like a character standing there and like running through little references or something, but it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
what
Or it's
kind
not
of
even
upsets
references,
me
because it's not even
also.
reference humor,
Yeah.
right? Like, reference
Yeah.
humor I enjoy as well. I enjoyed it in
Yeah.
I enjoy it in Dropkick on My Devil. I enjoyed it
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
Yuta Yuri when it happened. I enjoy it in fucking
Nyarko. Yeah.
yeah, Nyarako.
Nyarko-san.
Like,
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Nyarako-san is a perfect example. Like, I love reference humor in that, but the problem is that this doesn't even do like reference humor. Like, it does like I said, like Nokotan will turn into a character that looks like a JoJo or a Fist of the North Star character, and that is just kind of played out. And it's like, you could at least like do a little bit more. Like, you're basically like,
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the show equivalent. Like, these are like bottom of the barrel, like Family Guy tier
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
humor.
I was about to actually.
Like,
Yeah. I was
remember
about to bring
remember the
that up.
time when you saw a show that looked like JoJo or something that looked like Fist of the North Star? It's like, yes,
Yeah.
and I do actually.
It's
Like,
like that Family
for
Guy,
example,
the
like,
Street Fighter scene
even
or whatever clip.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like fucking even like um Dropkick on My Devil did this type of joke very well, I would say. Where there was an
Hmm.
episode where um I forget exactly what happened. They were doing something. It was some fourth wall humor break, and it was a joke that like really like doubled back on itself where every character was a different anime style. Like, one of
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
was a shoujo, one of them was an H anime character, like another one was a shonen character, another one was like a JoJo character and stuff like that. But they like played off of that as well, and they played off of that using their lines, using their dialogue, and it was a lot happening at once. And it was also very fast, which is the very important part that I want to
Yeah.
reiterate
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I
It's
feel like
compact.
Yeah,
It's
nothing in
I
this
compact.
will
show
say,
is fast.
I think the best anime to make use of like the whole, oh, this character looks like a character from another anime is like Monogatari, where it does it for like 3 frames, and then it cuts away.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, like
what?
that shit is cool. That shit is funny. Like, that is snappy. It's literally just doing what it needed to do and
Yeah.
getting out. That's it. Um
Mhm.
and like I said, it's not even like it's reference humor. So, it's not like they particularly reference anything specifically about, JoJo or Fist of the North Star. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, well, this is indistinct. Like, this is not even hitting that mark. And again, it's like the
Yeah,
whole like villain organization thing. It's like, yes, I have seen Shocker mooks. Like, thank you very much. I know what they look
yeah,
like.
yeah, it's like the very. It's again,
As a matter of fact,
as I said
there was a
before, it's
whole
green eggs
fucking
and ham.
show
Yeah.
last season based on that. But like, yeah. So this is what I don't understand about this show. Like, I get why people like it because they lap up bottom of the barrel fucking slop comedy and think it's like brilliant because it's packaged to them in a memey way.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. So I was about to
I
point
fucking
that out. It
hate
was
it.
like I was trying to. So when you were talking about the Family Guy stuff earlier,
It's
there
trying
was
very hard.
a yeah, it was a word that came up here and there that was like, this is like a brain rot series. You just turn your brain off for this series. And I am the first person to
If I was going to turn my brain off, why the
support.
fuck wouldn't I look at a landscape?
Yeah.
Why
Why?
would I not go
Why?
fucking like literally meditate? Like not even to sound like a
Yeah.
like, oh man, like you know, do something better with your time or like something like that. But it's like, okay, but that's not good. Like if you're not engaging with
Well,
media, that's bad. That's a bad sign.
yeah. What I wanted to say is like, I'm the first person that will honestly support, good, simple humor, slapstick humor, sophomore humor, whatever. But the point is that it has to be well executed, well
Well, it has to be
done.
visually catching,
Well,
visually charming too.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Like
even if
it
you
has to be
even if
good.
you look at
Like
something
even
like
sophomore humor has quality, like levels of quality. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean,
It's
dude,
like,
you could look at something like fucking uh what's the name? Either yeah, I don't know, like the Three Stooges for fuck's sake.
yeah,
Like
exactly, Dumb and Dumber kind
it
of
is
stuff like that. Yeah,
supposed yeah, it is supposed to catch your eye. Like there is a lot yeah, I mean even in Dumb and Dumber, it's like there are usually several things happening in a scene where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
Rube Goldberg machine that is about to be like a slapstick joke that you can probably see coming.
yeah,
And this doesn't do that.
yeah.
I mean, obviously that would
It's
be very
just,
hard to do, but again, it's like it's not.
yeah.
I
I
would
mean,
say
that's what
this
separates
is
a
below
good
Pop Team
slash
Epic
great anime from,
for me,
yeah,
and I don't like Pop Team Epic,
yeah,
like because this
yeah.
is very long. It is like it's trying. It's also the other problem is too is like it's so clearly trying so hard to be like funny and like
It's
random.
trying to hard to become meme viral. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, and
oh,
it's like
look at
it's like the
meme,
picture I'm
meme.
literally
Yeah,
using. The picture I am literally using of this of the classroom slow mo scene. The fact that that is like the
yeah,
one of the most popular scenes. It's like so far, it's like, bro, that's all you got in 40 minutes. That's the best you fucking have. That's your most clippable moment.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and this is an 8 on mall. This is what we're doing now. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Again,
And even
and I
their like
think even like a
marketing
visual.
campaign too.
Oh
Yeah,
well, I mean, we can get into that in a minute, but like,
yeah,
this is also something where I was like, again, like a style can very much also help here. This is not.
mhm.
I mean, obviously, like it has a style, but it's just not. It's just not visually distinct, right? Like if I see a single thing from Nishijo, if I see someone draw something as if it was from Nishijo, I know that style. Like I know that style immediately, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
With this, it's just like a very plain and unshaded. Like what's the most visually distinct thing? The shitty CGI deer? Like the realistic CGI deer that show up? That and that's also what I mean by trying too hard as well, too. Like that's a cute idea and stuff, but like again, okay. Like
Well,
you
a
have
lot of
like
that's
photorealistic deer looking at
a lot of
that.
that's from the source material, right? So
Oh yeah, no, I know, but that's what I mean. Like I'm also criticizing the source material here. Like
yeah, I mean,
make no
I'm just saying
mistake.
most of the faults here are like
Yeah, source material
carryovers.
issues, right?
Yeah, the carryovers from the source material. It's not so much that
Yeah.
like the style aspect is like because if you look at the manga, it's like it's adapted pretty well um to the manga
Oh no, no,
style.
that's what I said. That's what I
Um,
said in the beginning. Like this is the style, but I just don't think it's
yeah,
very visually distinct to like
yeah,
enhance my experience here, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not really doing a lot for me, and I don't really think the visuals get like that crazy either. Like it's particularly grounded. Whereas like you look at something again because everyone likes to make the comparison anyway. Nichijou, not only is it visually distinct, but like
I don't really know
there's a lot of
why.
weird shit going on in Nichijou. Like there's a
Yeah, I
lot
don't really
of very
know. I don't
weird
really get
shit that
the
happens.
Nichijou comparison because
Oh, I
a lot
get
of
it.
Nichijou's bits are like really, like they're really out there, right? Like they're really outlandish. Like,
Nichijou, the
I
thing
mean,
is
Oh
just
because
take
no,
for
that's
example,
Nichijou,
like
why.
yeah,
take for example like the simple like the pen bit, right? Where like
yeah, yeah,
where Yuko or whatever, like she goes to click her pen, but she's holding it the wrong way, right? And she fucking
yeah,
stabs her finger. And then just like doing that, she shoots like a fucking laser beam out of her mouth that like pierces multiple planets in the solar system, right? And it's
yeah.
like that bit is like that bit is good, um, because it's like it's animated really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I compared. You know what
Yeah,
I always compare like those
like
sorts of
conceptually,
Nichijou
it's
scenes.
not the greatest
Yeah,
bit ever. Right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I,
just like a super simple bit, but the fact that it's like taken to its like utmost like extreme is like what
yeah.
makes it a good bit.
Yeah, I always compare it to Fantasia 2000, right? Like the Disney movie where it's like, you know, it has like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, it has the fucking whales and stuff like that. Like that's what I compare it to because it's not those things are not super like, wow, this is such a coherent movie that like does all these things. No, it's just like the surreal nature of it is just animated to the extreme. That's the
Yeah.
yeah,
point of Fantasia
this is
2000. It's
not
the
like
point of
a
Nichijou. Yeah.
particularly this is not a particularly surreal series. I guess is another thing to get at is like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
these jokes. Like I said, these jokes are very basic. We have seen them many a time before. These are jokes that a lot of these are jokes that you would see in like a regular like slice of life series that has comedy in it, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
these are not anything
I
like
think
these are
that's
not deep
why
cuts.
online a lot of people sort of latched on to like the slow motion entrance bit because like
Hmm.
as far as I've seen, that's probably the most absurdist joke so far, right? Where it's like
Yeah, I mean, in the
she
two
comes
episodes I
in,
watched, that pretty
she
much
breaks
is.
the door frame, like the debris hits people in the face and they're bleeding and they're like acting like it's completely normal. And it's like this is absurd, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah,
then all the other
and
jokes are kind of just like, whoa, she's got antlers. Weird, right? It's like, okay.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the only other really like part I got even a slight kick out of was just immediately like Nokotan outing her as a prior delinquent and like immediately everyone in the class turning around and being like, "Whoa, you were a delinquent? That's terrible. That's horrible." Like they immediately believe her in a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Like that was like kind of funny, but again, it's not like like to me, I'm like this really isn't doing anything for me though. Like I expected more. I expected better. I dreaded this type of scenario happening. I kind of felt like there was a slight chance because for me it was either going to be, you know,
Yeah, and,
very
like,
much sink or
just to be clear,
swim.
none of us are ever like, "Oh, I hope this anime is bad." Like, we have our because this is not the first season of anime that we've watched. It might be pretty obvious. So we have pretty like there are series where we're like, "Oh, we're 80% sure, 90% sure, 95% sure that this is just how it's gonna unfold." Almost up to like just the developments like per episode or like across like different episodes, right? But it's like yeah. Like none of us are like, I hope Nokotan fucking flops or whatever. No,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
then we're
like the
watching
problem
a
is,
shitty series.
yeah,
Like,
it's like look, like I've been extremely wrong about series in the past, and I've been overjoyed to be. When we did the previews for Bocchi the Rock, I thought it was going to be a very standard, basic series. Oh, by
yeah,
the way,
yeah, 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 yeah,
visually, nothing in this series has gone beyond, has even come close to Bocchi the Rock. By the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
like
yeah.
which is another thing entirely
I mean,
that that show
that's kind of a
like
high bar.
is a high bar to clear, but still, it's like, listen, man, if that's supposed to be your whole show and you're not even topping the bits we're coming close to the bits from Bochi. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but so like I was overjoyed to be wrong about that because I thought that was just going to be a pretty standard series. Um, I was extremely happy to be wrong about Shangri-La Frontier recently becoming like
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite
That's
series
definitely
like
one.
that year. And when I first saw that, I was like, no, this is gonna be shit. Like, who knows? And I wrote it off, and then I
Mhm.
watched it, and I was like, this is phenomenal. This series I was worried about. Obviously, like I was like, my initial reaction was, oh no, like I have a strong feeling that I know how this is gonna end. And then as we saw more, I was like, maybe they have something here.
Yeah.
And then no, they didn't. At least for me, it ended exactly the way I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And again, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Like I I really wanted to have a series that was a truly like absurd humor show that was again as like had bits that were as involved and as unhinged as something from Nichijou. Like
Mhm.
or again doubled back on itself. Like
Yeah.
comes full circle. That is probably one of my biggest gripes was like I said like the jokes do not they don't come back, right? Like you
Yeah.
see this in a lot of even like stand up specials, stand up hours and stuff like that. Like if someone has
Mhm.
a tight hour or something, the joke they started with will come full circle by the end of it.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
very
it's like it has to
satisfying.
be it ends up being the backbone of like the sketch you're doing,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
It turns into it is very fun. It winds up becoming like again, like something coming full circle is a very, very satisfying way to tell a joke, to have jokes being told. But this shit kind of just like rattles off stuff to you and just keeps moving. But like keeps
Yeah.
moving, like I said, better if it was faster. But it is not. It feels pretty fucking slow for what it's doing.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I mean, not a fan.
So,
The
yeah,
OP is
and
obviously
I
a
think
meme.
oh, yeah, yep.
The ED is the most soulful thing that the series has, and it's that they have like the shots of them making the like the work like the people who are working at this factory or whatever making those crackers.
Oh, shit.
Um,
Like the
and
deer
and
crackers, right?
yeah, the deer crackers, and also a bunch of deer. Like it's just
Mm.
footage of them, like the characters walking across the like the bottom banner of the screen and just all of that B-roll essentially. And it's really nice.
Right,
It's a really cozy ED. It's really fun. Um but yeah, I don't like just about anything else from it.
Yeah, it's also you can kind of feel the as you said, like it's trying so hard and I'll call it like desperation. You can feel the desperation not only just running through how the series was storyboarded and like kind of written out alongside like the original source material, but you can feel it in like the literal just like marketing and stuff like that. I mean, the creation of the OP itself,
Oh,
like
we need
the
to
opening like, the opening music itself, like, the initial line, like, the Shikanoko Nokonoko Koshitantan, like, that part is, like, the only real me if you notice the rest of the opening is not, like it's just not even that good, like, even compared to, I wanna say, early like, early to late 2000s, early 2010s kind of, like, openings and shows and stuff like that, it's just, like, barely maybe average, slightly below average amongst those as well. And it's just like nothing in that opening is very good. And the only reason why it would be viral is like that very beginning part, which is like not even, I mean, it's like,
yeah, I mean listen, and also you want to
yeah,
compare shit to Nichijou. Like,
yeah,
really? Let's look at those.
yeah.
Let's look
Like
at those.
Nichijo's Chada like
Look at the
openings are
OPs. Let's look
ridiculous.
at those.
Yeah, they're
Take those
What
into
would you compare
consideration.
to Man Girl TQ, where are we going here?
I think TQ. The issue is
TQ
it's
is
like
probably too far, but
TQ.
like,
Yeah, and also like TQ and the reason like TQ and Nokotan are on a slightly different like comparison because TQ was just on the onset. It was just designed to be this just ghetto ass like who the fuck cares? We don't even have an art director kind of series that is just like the studio was just saying, okay, how far can this go kind of thing. Nokotan, from the start, was they were trying to barrel it down to make this some sort of whack ass viral sensation. Like, oh, we're gonna make all the memes, guys, and we're gonna be successful off the memes and the memes, bro. Blah 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 blah. And it's evident through again the marketing campaign that they ran. If you just
yeah,
want to cover that real quick, Dark.
yeah. So what I'm covering here is an original tweet of someone saying, "I'm surprised how receptive people have been to that Nokotan anime, considering it feels like one of the most forced and manufactured memes ever. I would expect people to see through this soulless, cynical marketing campaign, but it's been very successful." Which, yeah, no,
Bro.
dude, people are never gonna see through that shit. Are you high? Are you
So,
smoking crack? That's not happening.
so,
The follow-up tweet.
so,
I mean, the follow-up tweet was, "What's insane about Nokotan PR is that they went, they is that they went around asking YouTubers to make videos on it for free before the show had even come out. I talked to a friend that
Think you mean
contacted,
exposure, sir?
yeah, and he told me that he would be down to make a Nokotan video, but as soon as he brought up how much he would like to get paid, they basically said that's not in the cards for us right now." Um, but
I
me,
can't
yeah,
believe that they did that too.
that's good.
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have an irrational, well, no, I can rationalize it. I don't even hate the guy personally. Um, but I just like don't like anything about what he does. Little V.
Mhm.
Um, he did a cover of this, and I genuinely would not be shocked if they fucking paid him to do it. Like, would not surprise me whatsoever, right? Because his turnaround should not be as fast as it was for this. Um,
Mhm.
but like, yeah, like obviously like this is manufactured. Like it's pretty fucking clear that it
Yeah,
is. Because again,
it's
like Nearhead brought up, the only fucking clip that had been going around is the classroom door breaking scene. That's
yeah.
it. Which, by the way, I want to throw it out there. You know what a better door breaking scene was that also came out like just last year? Kaiju number 8
Yeah,
features a door
yeah,
breaking scene and then a follow up punchline that doubles down on the joke. Just saying.
yeah. By the way, uh, for people who are going just like, oh no, like it's just okay to have just the door breaking scene, and you just need to have the one. Two. You guys realize that every series that actually properly becomes super popular and like has like all the different like meme clips, they have a shit ton of these. Like every like flippable anime, like again, like
Have
Beast
you
Doll, I think.
seen the Chan channel, dude? Like that may
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been
yeah,
like
yeah.
technically manufactured and that was them putting out their own clips, but they shit out like 100 clips that were like 100 different bits. They were like, here's fucking a ton of bits, and it's like that's only like a fraction of the content that this series has. Whereas like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
like only one scene's getting passed around,
Or
and it's
like
really
again,
not
as
that
you said,
special.
like Bookie the Rock stuff, Nichijou stuff, even again, like something like Pop Team Epic had at least a couple of scenes where they had like, the voice actors like talking or doing it like ad lib or whatever, stuff like that. Like they had those scenes, but it's like Nogotan, I haven't seen really anything float up on my feed, to be honest.
Yeah, me
And
neither. And because it's like, what the
yeah,
fuck is what is gonna come up on your feed? Like a 5 minute clip to get entirely through this fucking joke of her hanging on the power lines that isn't
Again, it's
particularly
only the
Yeah.
interesting.
it's literally the one joke. It's
Yeah,
literally just
yeah,
like that's
the door breaking joke. That's
I
the
think that
only
is
joke that
genuinely
people
the
are
only
posting.
clippable one. I think that
Yeah.
might be one
yeah.
of the only clippable jokes in general because like the other ones you need like I don't know, some kind of like bullshit episode context that shouldn't matter, but winds up very much mattering because like this is still structured, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and then outside of that, you have the shit like again, like the visual one of like the JoJo slash Fist of the North Star stuff. It's like, and what are you gonna do? Clip that? Like, again, we've seen we've seen that a lot. We've seen it a lot, and we've seen it done a hell of a lot better. But yeah, man. I mean, people are. I mean, I know people are generally like pretty fucking dumb, but like this shit having an 8.0 is like kind of disheartening.
It's unfortunate because I think part of it's also born from this. Well, part of it's just like lowered expectation. Yeah, well, I don't want to say part of it because it's all integrated together, but it's like I think I think part of it is just like people just assuming that like, oh, it's just okay to have, just whatever be memes, and that anything that's memes is valuable to me, whatever, blah blah. But I think also part of it is this set of lowered expectations, um, where people have seen so much like other crap in recent anime, they're just dying for some release, right? They're dying for something that's quote unquote different. And even if that different is just crappy ass manufacturer
Just like
viral
bottom of the
marketing meme
barrel,
stuff.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
They'll be like, it's something different. Oh, it's the brain rot quote unquote anime that I need. Oh my god. And it's like, yeah, but you should want different stuff that's good
I
quality.
mean,
It's
again,
not
the other
just
problem
about
is
having
you
different
you
stuff. Yeah.
talk to these people, you talk to
Yeah.
these people, and you're like, okay, but what have you watched? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
have you seen Bochi the Rock? Have you seen Nichijou? Have you seen Yuri Yuri? Have you seen fucking I don't know, Joshin Chan Dropkick? Like, like, have you watched these?
Yeah.
Because those aren't like old. I mean, Nichijou's
Yeah, yeah,
pretty old
exactly.
now, but some of those
Yeah.
series like are not that old, and like you can get these
Yeah.
bits delivered to you much better by them. Or if they
Mhm.
came out before, they were already delivered way better back when they were made. So it's like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm hearing the same jokes I've heard dozens of times, and not really anything new.
Mhm.
And not in a way that's new either. So it's like just a failure on all levels to me.
Yeah.
I like the Nara
Very,
Deer
very
stuff
unfortunate.
though, and the Kigurumi or whatever.
I mean, it's
I like the
okay.
marketing outside of the actual show is pretty funny.
Yeah,
Like
again, like I said,
the
like
ED is pretty good.
the
Oh
ED
yeah.
is nice. Like that is nice, and that's cool. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, the feeling that you get from the ED and that type of stuff. And again, I am Josh and Chad's number one fucking fan, evidently. You can get it from them. Like you can absolutely get it from them because that shit was done on a budget. Season 3 is pretty much like a 50-50 split of what do you call it? Like regional coverage, regional advertising. Um
Mm.
and it's like, there's a lot of marketing that went on with that was very, very fun, very funny. And it's like, but so is the show. Like, so
Yeah, 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 exactly.
it's like, all
That's
right,
the
but
important part.
you're missing the really important part here. So I don't know. It's I I'm probably not going to continue with the show. I really don't want to
Yeah.
continue with the show. I I am very much thinking like this is not does not really have the I was not
Nothing to chew
introduced
on.
in a way that has gives me faith that this gets better as time goes on, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think the formula is going to change. I'd love
Yeah, I
if
mean,
I
there's not
wasn't
gonna be
if hey
huge
if I
developing
wasn't
arcs.
lazy, if I wasn't lazy, I would love to like mash together shit to like basically point out why this stuff kind of fucking sucks when you really chew on it. Um, by like taking bits from other shows and trying to like turn them into this manner where they're like way over explained with especially with character monologues and stuff like that. Um but yeah, I can't even really say that this is a like so that's a thing like the series
Yeah.
because I think that is like giving it too much credit, frankly.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing to get to was yeah, this uses AI subs apparently, so that's cool. Good job,
Yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Some people are saying that um it looks like it's just done by different people. My opinion on it is probably from what I've like the various scenes that I've listened to, seen, and kind of mixed together. I think what's happened was that it's it was initially done by baseline AI and then smoothed over by an editor slash QA, but the QA slash editing wasn't done very well. I think that's what's happened.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's
this is
it's a
the
mixture of both.
fatal and very
Are you saying
stupid error.
Crunchyroll editing is
Yeah,
bad?
Bad.
here's the thing, dude. Like this is the really dumb fucking part about these things where it's like the whole point is that if you're going to use AI, your editing is very likely going to be dog shit because
Mhm.
you've already cut one of the most important fucking corners. Why would your editing not be rushed too? Like the whole fucking point
Yeah.
was that you got this script shit out to you from fucking AI. Like,
Mhm.
okay, dummy, you're gonna sit there and edit that now? The whole point was for you to get the script in 3 seconds. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think that's just like a fatal like misconception that people are thinking might happen with AI or like thinking of using it. Um,
Mhm.
but no, like at most, literally, in order to use AI quote unquote properly in these types of scenarios,
Mhm.
like would still involve someone doing full translation work anyway and then like checking themselves with AI and then like comparing
Yeah.
them. It would literally be a longer process. It would create like a more thorough process for a human and like eye to take over. So like there is no efficient way, in my opinion, to like
Ye
especially a comedy series to subtitle a comedy series with artificial intelligence. Like there will never be
yeah.
a way to do that
I mean, that's
unless
not
it
gonna
is
prevent the higher ups from
literally
just forcing
true
it, but
intelligence.
yeah.
It's not happening, guys. That's the
Yeah.
really fucking ridiculous part about a lot of this shit with AI, and a lot of especially when it comes to again something like this, especially for comedy.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah,
bro, comedy only works because of our functioning. Like comedy only works because of how humans, like the human brain and like a consciousness. So
yeah.
how are
Mhm.
you going to give that to an AI and have faith that like this machine
Yeah,
is going to
they can change
get
the
any of
implications,
this?
right, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to change the implications. It like it doesn't know what humor is. It can't react to humor. It's not even a real AI for fuck's sake. Like we keep calling it AI.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
actually intelligence.
It's just matrices. Yeah, it's just a bunch of matrices.
Like that's not what intelligence is. That's why the way they look at it is like how most boomers look at AI, or they're like, damn, that's like that thinks. It's like the guy from Google who's like, no, it's alive. It's like you're an idiot. Like you're schizophrenic. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like you need to get help, my friend, because no, it's not possible. It is literally not possible. The hardware is not there. You will not have
yeah,
you will not have a software somehow function at even remotely close to this level without hardware,
yeah.
and the hardware is not there. Like
Can a
so,
machine learn to be funny?
uh,
Surely
We're
I
gonna
not.
find
mean,
out with anime dubs.
Oh, and I guess the other thing to touch on with the AI subtitling thing is the tweet that I have pulled up here, and this is not to slight this Hiroshi Anime Twitter handle, this individual. This is I mean, this is good work, this is good digging, and I think this is a pretty level-headed response. Um, but I will say, like, they do say, obviously, it appears that the English, French, and German subs may have been translated by AI. The translations come from the licensor Remo, and they're not technically Crunchyroll's work. While blaming the service is justified, as they could have had the option to create their own translation, we believe Remo should be held accountable as well. Now, I where I think that this is missing the forest for the trees is if the company that licensed this out is already doing this with AI, it's over. You are not convincing
Yeah.
the company that is passing off translated shit, like AI translated slop to Crunchyroll, to change their fucking ways. Like, that, to me, that's not happening. I would assume that this is kind of like, I don't see them doing this essentially without the business already taking the steps to fully plunge themselves into this, if you get what I mean. I would imagine if they weren't doing this before, if this, first of all, if this place wasn't started to fucking pass around like machine translated AI, like AI translations.
Yeah, it's
That's the other thing too that I don't know. Like, I could probably look them up to check, but it's like, that to me seems like, no, if this company's doing this, like, this is just what they do now. Like, this is just their
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You're not getting real fucking work from them. So to
yeah.
me,
It's
it's
not
like,
like a full
don't
localization
harp
place.
on, like, yeah, it's like, don't harp on that. Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Harp on the fact that, one, why isn't Crunchyroll doing its own fucking translations anymore either? Like, are you out of your fucking mind? The fuck do we? What the fuck do people pay for at this point? Like,
core
so your
services of
dog shit
Crunchyroll is
fucking player can crash every 3 seconds?
yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we
It's
doing?
online streaming, bro. Clearly.
Like, these fucking assholes are jacking up
uh,
the pricing. Their catalog fucking sucks. They have like a monopoly, and then they're like, yeah, by the way, we're also licensing out our fucking translations now. We know we have a fucking
I
monopoly, but
subscribe
now we
to
license them out.
Crunchyroll for the mobile game library, Dark. I don't think you
Yes,
understand.
dude. Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
need to
so
read manga or whatever. I just need to play their mobile games.
yeah, you can play their mobile games that like rotate every year. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know, man. It's just like it's just something else to me. Like, it's not great.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like,
Yeah.
no, like
It's overall a little bit of a mess.
don't bother with criticizing the translation company, right? Because you're not. Here's the ultimate thing. Especially as a consumer, you are not paying the translation company here in this case. You're not paying Remote. You're paying Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing you can realistically do is demand that Crunchyroll never use them again, never use AI again, and do their in-house shit. Or at the very least,
Yeah.
license to someone who doesn't do this. If they have to fucking license the people, I don't know why, but you know, I guess that's what happens when you form a fucking monopoly instead of having
Mhm.
studios that are dedicated to, doing these types of localizations, and then they could build an in-house like brand, not brand, but culture and community, and then make their subs better through that and learn as a whole. But who that instead get this shit. So I would
Yeah.
technically let it slide for this company and just shit on Crunchyroll because that's who you're paying.
Yeah.
That's who you're paying.
And
There's
they're the
no
ones who
other fucking
organized all
reason
of
to be
this in the
paying for
first
this.
place,
Yeah,
too.
and they fucking knew what they were getting. So,
Yeah.
like, if these subtitles don't pass for us, how the hell did it pass for them? Right? Like,
Yeah,
that's the other thing to keep
exactly.
in mind. Like they saw these subs. Whether or not they knew that they were AI or not, they should be like, yo, these subs are ass. Like, we fucking paid you to make these subs. What, like, these are terrible.
The secret is the Crunchyroll localization team isn't good enough to know that they're bad.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I
God,
wouldn't be shocked at this point. But it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah, very unfortunate. But yeah, all the problems, obviously, combined. I guess, any last words on the series, and how would you rate this?
um, I don't know, like a three, like a three or a four, maybe.
Yeah, 3.
Probably like a three, a light three.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, not a fan.
So, yeah, yeah, it's very again, we don't want none of us want this, an anime series to be a failure, because then we're just stuck with watching more shitty anime. But it is unfortunate that unfortunately, Nokotan kind of ended up being more of a marketing shtick, and the innards of the anime was much more hollow than any of us had wanted it to be. So
Yeah, it's just boring. It's just like
yeah,
that's really the ultimate thing. Like, I'm not pissed off because
yeah,
like I'm offended by anything. I'm pissed off because it's like,
just
this was
disappointed.
boring. Yeah, like, this was
I'm not
boring.
angry, just
I mean,
disappointed.
I'm
Yeah.
angry. I'm angry because I was disappointed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Alright. Well, again, thank you, Dark, for at least slogging through that, portion to help review the series. Again, it is Shikanoko Nokonoko Koshitantan, my dear friend Nokotan. It is I believe, manga original that has been adapted now into an anime by Wit Studio. This is their second series this season. The other series, of course, being the other one that Nier just reviewed just now, which was Isekai Suicide Squad. Yeah, so it is a meme series. I don't know what else to say about it, but yeah, you'll see the song being danced to or whatever on TikTok here and there. So